So STL is an end-to-end solution provider for global digital networks with core capabilities and optical connectivity solutions and virtual access side of the network solutions, and then also network system integration and the software solution. So this is we partner with global customers, which is both in telcos and cloud companies and large enterprises, and then also government citizen networks. What we think we are doing is this putting up this entire focus on bringing large networks both at a fixed as well as wireless side. That's been our providing this end-to-end secure networks for the key customers. So I'm very fortunate to be part of this journey because this business has the power of connecting millions of people and transforming their lives. I think that's what truly I'm inspired to be part of this organization for the last 25 years plus. Doing, I think, a part of my journey. I've been started this journey with setting up optical fiber cable facility way back in 1993, and then further expanded my roles into expanding this company both in terms of fiber, cables, network services, and then also building of facilities in China, Brazil. Currently, I'm engaged to a large extent in, I'm responsible for the network services and software as the Chief Executive Officer. And I'm focusing more on deploying hyperscale complex networks for our key customers. And I truly believe that this is something which is very fortunate to be part of this responsibility because it is truly transforming millions of lives. I think while we started the journey from a wide infrastructure, that's been our main portfolio for the last 25 years, focusing on optical fiber and connectivity solutions as part of our growth. Recently, we've been also looking at last few years, we've been looking at this wireless, diversifying into wireless infrastructure side. What we realize is that the networks are going to be converged at the edge, and which is where you find fixed wireline and wireless networks will start converging together. And that's where area where we have started investing into a wireless infrastructure ecosystem, which is around basically building the software and hardware solutions for wireless infrastructure. And this virtual radio access network solutions are going to be very critical for customers in time to come, because most of the customers are looking at kind of a, let's say, agnostic to proprietary kind of a hardware and software solutions. And we believe that this is an area that we need to get in. So we are looking at building a strong wireless ecosystem for building this towards a 5G network. So that's been our endeavor to move forward. Absolutely. I think today, I think if you look at it, current way that entire world in this pandemic is operating, a lot of, I think, work from home scenarios and the way I think digital life has started moving in. The basic need and sustenance of these networks is really now looking at how do we bring this entire ecosystem connected using completely that wireless connectivity. And I think the Wi-Fi has definitely has become a backbone of this entire new way of living. I think if you look at it from India and most of the countries through this situation, there's a lot of focus on empowering this digital infrastructure, because that's what we believe is going to be transforming the future lives of experiences and lives of people. And we are already seeing that, let's say, a lot of things are happening around this. People are using this vehicle telematics to analyze the various data points that vehicles can collect during this commuting, and also looking at smart grids are actually managing the consumptions of power consumptions of consumers. All of this, I think, is going to be make the networks very efficient. Also, I think experiences are going to be very powerful. I think I see both Wi-Fi and 5G will play a very important role going forward. And I think Wi-Fi has been there for years, and 5G is actually coming up soon. So I see that there is a significant position for both to coexist in time to come. And I think our focus is, I think, making networks which are which are there today, and how do we handle the tomorrow's needs. I think this kind of Wi-Fi will definitely continue to play a very large role in this going forward. We're also finding that a lot of, I think, uh, spectrum management, I think, is very critical for most of our telcos. And we find that some of Wi-Fi solutions are actually going to make this whole network very efficient and provide very cost-effective as well as affordable, let's say, connectivity solutions using some of the unlicensed spectrum on Wi-Fi 6. So those are things which are still unexplored in a country like India. And I believe that that could be that would open up another era of connecting faster, and also I think using unlicensed spectrum to provide this Wi-Fi connectivity, which also spur the economic activities across large enterprises, because the connectivity improves. You find most of the large enterprises can actually use IoT applications for making their operations efficient. So I see this is a very large benefits that I think we can take it forward. And I believe that Wi-Fi and 5G both will kind of going to take us forward. Obviously, I think this is something what happened. No one expected to really prepare for this kind of situation. But like any other company, I think we have taken absolutely, I think, this by whatever best we could do. We have put our entire manufacturing locations back into operations at the earliest possible. As soon as this entire thing has come up, we found a way to look at people while taking care of people's safety. We made sure that our operations as well as our networks deployed on in the field are continuing at the earliest times, because we strongly believe in this time, I think, other than health and food, the digital infrastructure has almost become equally important. I think that has been the key theme for running the administrations, and then the entire lives of people who are running on this digital infrastructure. We understood this responsibility, and then we have put everything back on track at the earliest possible time. In fact, as early as first 45 days of this entire pandemic got created in India, we were able to bring back into most of our operations into normal operations. And I think the entire thing for the current year has been last 3-4 months. We have learned some looking at what are the newer ways of, let's say, minimizing the human touch points. How do we make it more automated? How do you make sure that the entire so COVID has given a lot of new ways to live, and obviously the way businesses are conducted, the way we were doing it, is also going to be more efficient going forward. I think the entire what I see is that when this entire digital networks were put to test, I think most of the telecom infrastructure which was invested in last a decade or so has been fully put to use. We find that most of the telco operators networks were running at fullest capacities. That has led to most of the telecom companies now advancing their capex programs. In fact, we find that a lot of expansion programs happening in terms of they wanted to create connectivity. They wanted to fiberize more towers, especially in the rural areas. We find that network expansions are happening both India as well as globally. That has brought definitely a kind of an opportunity for us to see how we as an organization can take this and leverage it in terms of one hand is that bigger social responsibility of making sure that we provide whatever best we can do to create this network faster and then more agile. And at the same time, as a company that we also have ambition to grow, and we are trying to what is that we can do to put this whole thing into action. We have interesting things are coming up in the last 2-3 months. Most of the operators that we work with, the telco customers, they are looking at making this networks to be built on integrated end-to-end solutions basis, because that is the only way to get everything together and make it faster. And we have recently some major network rollout contracts and major agreements with some of operators, which is basically putting it in the network in end-to-end basis. So I see the very interesting times for us in FY 2021. I think we'll be Definitely, I think I think we've been a long partner to WA for many years. And I think I spoke earlier that currently the Wi-Fi is a very important area which is growing in the current needs and the way that networks are being built. So we'll be presenting our Wi-Fi suite in terms of important product line for us. That's going to be our area of focus from this year sessions. And also, I think we strongly believe this is not just this is more towards bringing that a larger impact of unlicensed spectrum, how we can leverage that for creating economic activities in the to improve the country's GDP growth, and how we can connect masses. I think how we can connect masses at using this kind of Wi-Fi technologies which is cost effective, which is efficient. So we are going to focus in this session around Wi-Fi as a complete an important product line for us. Good. I think we have been associated with WA for many years. We are very proud of this association because amongst other things that you do good, I think the one thing which I always liked is that you maintain that ecosystem in terms of bringing the healthy discussions and also I think like bringing a like-minded people together to debate the topics which are of core interest in the current times. That's what I think always brings a lot of, I think, valuable insights about what's happening, what's the market changes. So that's very interesting way of, I think, your organization is doing it. That's what I like the most. Also, I think we have participated in several work groups and projects. We found that all of them have been extremely useful for us in readying our products and solutions to be ready for the current market and future needs. So that's been very helpful to us. Absolutely. I think that's something which brings a very different perspectives of working with other members. So we find that I think that definitely puts some of our thought process into spot and makes us to introspect and make sure that what we are building and investing is absolutely in alignment with the market needs. No, I wish you all the best. I think this is, I think all of us are going through this current, I think, situation, which is, of course, the way I think digital networks. I'm looking at the digital networks, the infrastructure, which is currently looking up. I think the future is going to be mostly to connect through our digital platforms. So I am looking forward that to engage more on both on creating next-gen technologies as well as working closely with all the future cutting-edge network technologies to really create networks of future.